It's been rather a long time since F1 raced in Turkey. We have to cast our minds back to 2011 to see glorious F1 machinery take to the Istanbul park. But how much has changed since then? We'll wonder no more as we take a look at 7 things that show just how long ago it was since F1 raced at the circuit that includes the beloved Turn 8. There were 2 Lotus teams on the grid. Sounds confusing? Well, it was. Back in 2011 there was a Team Lotus and Lotus Renault team. Team Lotus bought the rights to their name and planned on running the team to show their appreciation of the history within the sport. Originally, they had signed a contract with Cosworth Engines that lasted 3 years, but this was terminated and instead Team Lotus partnered with Renault for their engines. You can see how this really didn't help the situation, as we now had Team Lotus with a Renault engine and then Lotus Renault, who also was powered by Renault. My brain actually hurts thinking about that. Mercedes were 5th in the World Constructors' Championship. It might feel like Mercedes have been dominating F1 since the dawn of time, but rewind to 2011 and Mercedes was still a fairly new team within the sport. They had been Brawn GP before, a team which won the Constructors' Championship that year and handed their driver Jenson Button the title too, but overall it was the likes of Red Bull, McLaren and Ferrari who were at the top of the game. After the 2011 Turkish Grand Prix, Red Bull were leading the Constructors' Championship with 148 points, whereas Mercedes were down in 5th with just 26 points to their name. Nowadays, Lewis would be disappointed not to have 26 points after the first round. Pastor Maldonado hadn't won a race yet. The man, the myth, the legend. Pastor Maldonado won his first and only race at the 2012 Spanish Grand Prix, meaning that when F1 was last in Turkey, he was just a legend, at least to us he was, that had a high percentage of involvement in accidents on track. Despite having success at the track in recent years, even winning the GP2 race there the year before, Maldonado inevitably crashed during the 2011 Grand Prix. F1 fans wanted Hulk to have a race seat. This could very much be a headline from this week, but it is in fact from the 2011 Turkish Grand Prix when fans made banners for the grandstands that wished Hulkenberg was Hulken back in F1. Hopefully this settles the debate between 2 2020 Twitter accounts who are arguing over whose idea Hulkenback was. The answer? Neither of you. The Hulk, who raced with Williams in 2010, was dropped by the team at the end of the year and didn't have a full-time race seat for the 2011 season. Instead, he was the test and reserve driver for Force India. Hamilton and Vettel had only won 1 title each. Hamilton, who was set to win his 7th driver's title in Turkey this weekend, only had 1 championship to his name when F1 last raced in Istanbul. The same goes for Sebastian Vettel, who had won his first title the year before and who would earn himself 3 more titles from 2011 to 2013. God, those 2 are so greedy. Team Lotus had the 8th and 9th fastest F1 drivers ever. In 2011, Team Lotus had the dream lineup of Jarno Trulli and Heikki Kovalainen. Might sound fairly underwhelming, but it was one of the fastest pairings in F1 history according to a ranking from Amazon Web Services, AWS as you may know them, which we obviously take 100% seriously, completely accurate data. After collecting qualifying data since 1983, AWS reportedly removed any variables from the equation to source who the fastest drivers ever were, and the duo Trulli and Kovalainen were certainly a surprise addition. Kovalainen found himself in 8th, just 0.376 seconds behind Ayrton Senna, with Trulli just behind him, 0.409 seconds behind Senna, who topped the timesheets. Hamilton and Schumacher were racing together. We had the 2 GOATs of the sport racing against each other in the shape of Lewis Hamilton at McLaren and Michael Schumacher at Mercedes. Schumacher made his return from retirement the year before and would go on to race in F1 until the end of the 2012 season, picking up 1 sensational podium at Valencia in 2012, fighting against all the odds, charging through the field when Maldonado crashed shock into Hamilton. I dream about it every night. Sorry, I'll snap out of it now. There you have it, 7 things that show just how long ago it was since F1 raced at Turkey. How excited are you to see the Istanbul back in action? I cannot wait for this weekend, even if the drivers will take turn 8 flat one-handed with their eyes closed on their first lap of FP1 with cold tyres and a dusty track. Yeah, it'll be great!